Is your church looking to hire a new pastor? Are you about to kick off the pastor interview process with a new pastoral candidate? If so, it is vital that you're asking the right pastor interview questions. Here's why. If your interview process is less than solid and you end up with a poor fit for your church, it will create enormous heartache down the road. Determining whether a pastoral candidate has the necessary qualifications and experience, that's only the baseline. Your church also needs to find the ideal match when it comes to personality, theological stance, and fit within your unique church culture. That sounds like a tall order, but a quality interview process will help you sort through candidates and make the right choice. To help you, we compiled a list of the top 10 pastor interview questions that you need to ask your next pastoral candidate. Let's kick it off with an obvious one. How did you meet Jesus? This is a great first question to start off every interview. There is no better way to get to know someone than by hearing their testimony. Give them space to go into as much detail as they feel comfortable with. This question serves two purposes. It helps you establish that you're interviewing someone that actually loves Jesus, something that you just can't assume nowadays, but it also gives you a chance to assess their ability to tell a story. Storytelling is one of the key skills that a communicator needs to possess. When we share our testimony, it's a story that we know better than anyone. As they share their testimony, did you find it easy to follow? Were you engaged the whole time? These are great questions to ask. Next up, ask your candidate, how did you decide you wanted to be a pastor? Let's face it, not every Christian is called into vocational ministry. Being called to be a pastor is a unique assignment. It's not for everyone. And that's okay. What you're looking for in this question is a clear understanding of the candidate's calling. Are they the kind of person who feels like the ministry is just one of many career options available to them? Or is there a conviction that pastoring a church is what they were made for? You want someone born for this. Which brings us to the next question. What are your spiritual gifts? We all know that each one of us has a unique mix of spiritual gifts. While it's clear in Scripture that no one gift is better or more important than another, it should be equally clear that some gifts are essential for the role of a pastor. You wouldn't hire a church administrator who stunk at administration. You wouldn't ask someone to lead worship if they had no musical gifting. In the same way, you want to know that a pastoral candidate feels that their gifts align well with the assignment they will have at your church. In most cases, you're looking for someone with teaching and leadership gifts. But remember, just because someone says they have a gift, that doesn't make it so. Be sure to ask some follow-up questions around that. Next, we have a good one. Who are the biggest influences on your ministry? Ideally, the candidate would have a handful of people to tell you about here. You're looking for two kinds of people. You'll want to hear about their personal influences on the candidate. These are going to be the candidate's parents, pastors, and peers. This is great information to help you assess how relational the person is. But you would also like to hear about people the candidate may have never met before. These could be authors or theologians or historical figures or famous preachers they've seen online. It's been said that you are a combination of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. If you want to get a feel for who a person is, understanding their influences is key. Next up, we have what is your favorite sermon that you've ever preached? For most pastoral roles, the ability to preach is vital. If the candidate is not brand new to ministry, they've almost certainly preached sermons, and chances are they have a favorite. Asking this question will give you an idea of what's important to the candidate and allow you to see how that matches up with the culture of your church. As a follow-up, ask if there's any way you can see or hear the message online. Almost every church records their messages nowadays, so chances are you'll be able to listen to the sermon for yourself. And here's a pro tip. Listen to a few other messages while you're at it. Preaching one great message is very different than preaching great messages week in and week out. Here's another great question. What do you do to avoid burnout? Let's get this out there. Burnout is real. And it's much more common than we realize in pastors. And when burnout happens, it's a big deal, especially with pastors. Pastor burnout will impact your entire church, and if left unchecked, the consequences can be disastrous. Ideally, your candidate will have some healthy routines to help them maintain a solid work-life balance. Some candidates will think you're looking for a pastor who will work 60-hour weeks and live at the church. They might answer this question in a way that implies that they're workaholics. Well, take that as a red flag. Your church will always be better served by a leader who has his priorities in order, and their physical and mental well-being, it has to come first. From there, here's another great question. What was your biggest frustration with your last ministry position? Now, let me be honest. This one is a little bit of a trick question. While we're looking for a bit of detail here, our biggest concern should be how the candidate speaks about the people at his last church. A bad answer will be one where they lay out all the dirty laundry at his last job. If he speaks in detail about all the problems he had with other people, take that as a red flag. This person may be toxic. A good answer will be one where the candidates can speak honestly about what they could have done to do a better job mitigating the problem. Listen, every ministry has its challenges. That's not what's important. What is important is how the candidate handled themselves when those challenges arose. Speaking of challenges, this next question can be surprisingly challenging. What does your family think about you becoming a pastor here? Let's face it, if this ministry assignment is one that brings stress into the home, that tension is going to spill over into the church. The bottom line is that if your candidate is married, their spouse being on board is absolutely vital. That's not to say that spouses need to be just as involved as the pastor. In many cases, that's not even healthy. But we are shooting ourselves in the foot if we hire a pastor whose spouse has significant reservations about their partner becoming a pastor. If possible, pull the spouse into at least one of the interviews. Get to know them and make sure that they think the candidate would be a great fit too. That brings us to a hard question. Who can you go to and be completely honest? Sadly, pastors can be some of the most isolated people on earth. They tend to have lots of people around them, but often no one they feel they can really talk to. Every pastor needs to have a safety net of close friends that they can be completely honest with. When you ask this question, listen carefully to how they respond. Ideally, you want a candidate who can confidently share the names of 1 to 3 people who they can name without even thinking about it. But some pastors will really struggle to even name one person. While that may not be a deal breaker, it should at least give you an idea of some additional areas you may need to explore with them. Which brings us to our last question. How do you think our church will be different in 5 years with you as the pastor? Well, this question gives the candidate a chance to dream, and it gives you, the interviewer, an opportunity to assess their ability to cast vision. The potential pastor has almost certainly done at least a little homework on your church. They probably have some idea on what you're doing well and what they might improve. As they share, do you feel inspired? Do you like the picture they're painting? Do you feel like they have the ability to help your church get to the place that they're describing? A great leader needs to be able to communicate a clear vision of where they are leading. And while their answer won't be perfect, this question will serve as a gut check. Is this someone you can get behind? If so, you may have found your next pastor. I hope these questions have been helpful to you as you go down this road of finding a new pastor. Before I go, I'd love to know what other questions you have asked in pastoral interviews. Is there one that you think we should add to our list? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.